in Trumpet Towers in Chesham, Buckinghamshire, England, UK, Europe, Earth. So there are lots of videos that I've seen on YouTube and various other platforms which talk about studio production from a kind of technical standpoint about how to use a compressor, how to do sidechain compression, how to EQ bass, etc. But I'm going to talk more about what I actually do in terms of the creative process. Getting started with the creative process and different kind of games you can play to get ideas flowing. This one here I'm going to do today is called the Chimp Hook system. It comes from a guy called Mike Monday. It's called Chimp because it's the sort of idea behind it is that you play your instrument for 10 minutes, whatever you play, and as if you were like a chimpanzee bashing out on a piano, and you record it, and then you use that strip of audio to as a pool of ideas. And when it comes to do the actual session, actually working on new music, you just take a small piece of that and you start your tune, your new track with that idea, and use that as a starting point. And in this context, I'm going to be using the bit of trumpet audio as a kind of call, if you will, followed by I will come up with a response to that, because a lot of great hooks, a lot of great music is about tension and release, about call and response. So anyway, I'm going to get down to it. I'm going to just see what happens. Now, I always set my timer. Here it is. Cheap kitchen timer for 30 minutes. So at the end of 30 minutes, wherever I'm at, I could be finishing less than that. The idea is just to throw ideas down. But if it either gets to the end of my session in my head where I think I can't take this any further without actually breaking the rules of the the rules that I've set upon myself for the creative process, or the half an hour's up, I save it, export it, done, move on, and then review it at a later date. Okay, here we go. Right, let's do 30 minutes on this thing. So, yeah, I think you could hear me. So I'm going to start play some of these bits of play through this 10-minute solo jam on the trumpet I did. So I've listened through bits of it already, so I know what's what. But nothing's exciting me yet, which is a damning indictment upon my self-perception. Yeah, I'll go with that. So okay, so this is what I do. I'll take that. That'll be the call. That'll be the call to a potential response. So we'll use that. Now I'm going to make it a 4-bar thing. So, 2 bars call, 2 bars response. So I'm just going to consolidate that into a little 4-bar chunk. Okay. Then I will transfer it, if you will, to the session view, and I'll put it in there. So that's where it is. Tempo 102 is fine, whatever that means. I don't know at this point. I'm not judging anything I do. It's all just ideas coming out. They're all just ideas coming out, as I should say. Right. So where am I now? So I think I need some drums. So I'll go to my trusty break folder. Let's go for J. Right. let's find a break. Now, the way this kind of works usually is that the first thing that I find is what I work with. That's the idea. The idea of this at the moment of this state of process is that I've got nothing to judge anything by, so anything might work. So the first thing you find goes in, and it stays in, and you work with it. It kind of encourages you to work with what you got rather than have an idea in your head about what sound you want to get and then look for that sound, which takes ages. Just work with the first sound you got. Like a jazz musician, just work on the moment, work on inspiration, work on that instant moment. God, so articulate sometimes. Anyway. Oh. So we've got a drum break. Okay, so let's throw it in. No, let's get it in time. At least. So we'll mute that for a minute. It's beating. That's probably beat one there, isn't it? Whoa, the reverb going on there. So that's bar one, and that's all bit worse on one. Okay, so that's cool. So we'll start it there. I think I'll start it there. Okay, that's like, looks like about it. Get rid of that. Bye bye. Way like that. That was a bit rushed, tiny bit. That's fine. Here we go. Dope. Oh, that should be on loop, shouldn't it? There we go, 4-bar loop. So that's 4 bars. Now I need to come up with a response to that. So ba ba da ba, then something. Call and response. Have I said call and response yet? Yes, you have. Shut up. Okay. Let's go to Vancouver, which is not only a wonderful town in Canada, but also made with this Korg plug-in VST gadget. So what have we got in here? Let's just work with something that goes against it. I don't know. So that sounds like. Let's try that. What's the daisy? That is that's not. I'm not even going to attempt that. I'm breaking my rule already. It's not happening. That's not what I was wanting to hear. Something snappy. A snappy hit. There we go. Okay, let's work with this. Oh, okay. This is what it is. So I'm going to select all of these tracks and bring these down. No, come on. everything that's up top there. It's not working. Why is it not working? For those who don't know, by the way, this is Ableton 11. I'm one of the beta testers for it, and it's not out yet. So this is actually the release version. This is what's going to be coming out. And let me tell you something. There's still bugs, so I've got some emailing to do to let them know. So that's cool. That'll work, I think. Well, I don't know. Doesn't matter, does it? Just record something. I think that'll do. That's all right. It's cool in response. There we go. Sounds good. Okay. That'll do. Right, next layer. Let's try some. Oh, I don't know. Some more synth. Lexington, another one of the core gadgets. They're really good. You get about 30 of the things. Often recreations of classic gear. Obviously, in this case, the RP Odyssey. But it has about 120 quid the lot. Even cheaper often on the Black Friday sales and when special events throughout the year. Anywho, stop trapping on. Here we go. Let's try and find the sound. What am I going for? Oh my goodness. Doesn't matter what the name is, does it really? So I'm just choosing something. Oh, okay, let's go for... No. Low bop lead. Look at that. That swirl. Let's try that. Oh, nice. Nice. Very nice. Beautiful. Okay, right. Well, let's try some of that. See what happens. I'm going to actually, in this, there's some quite nice effects in this, so I'm just going to put some extra reverb, bits and bobs. That's already on, that's fine. EQ, no. Oh, that's all good. It's all good, don't need it. I'm going to jam for a while, see what I come up with. think I've got something. I'm going to use that bit in the middle. I think use that just a high drone wibbly bobbly bit. Okay, it loops okay. Fine. That's in. That'll do. Yeah. Let's put some talent boosters on the trumpet, eh? Make it sound a bit less real. Okay. No, we need a bass, some kind of bass in, don't we? Oh yeah, so my template here is set out in a kind of SATB drums layout. So I haven't given each layer a name because I don't know what I'm going to be using. The instruments that I've already put in the slots for which layer, for a particular layer. So so it's basically soprano, alto, tenor, bass, if you like. And drums. So you've got the highs, the high mids, the low mids, and the bass. Basically breaking that music down, sounds down to its 4. Get this thing out of my way. Is that better? That's better. Breaking sound down into its 4 constituent main frequency areas. And you just work with, you're simplifying things as much as you can. So you're getting a full sound, and then with rhythm as well. Where was I? I was moving this thing around because it's in the way. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. Maybe like that. I don't know. Maybe there for now. Can you hear me? Oh, I don't know. That'll do. Right. Okay. So we need some bottom end. Now for this, I'm going to go to. What are we going to? Oh, I know. I'm going to use Arcade. If you come across, like, if any of you are on Instagram and have looked at, or Facebook, have looked at any sort of Google for any kind of, or looked on YouTube for any kind of studio gear plugins, and you'll get bombarded by this plugin called Arcade, which is pretty mind blowing actually. It's a great thing for getting a vibe going, for starting a vibe, for starting a track. It's very, very, yeah, it's great. It's really good. I find it quite hard to work with, just to kind of if I'm working on a track and then want to find a particular sound that I've hear in my head, like later on in the process, I think I don't come to hear because it's quite random, and it's got a particular kind of flavour. But yeah, it's great. You'll, for those of you who are not familiar with it, you'll get an idea of what goes on now. So I'm looking for bass end. So I'm going to go into their packs. Now this is version 2. I don't know this version very well. Lines, here we go. So these are the kind of the genres, if you will. So what should I go for? What kind of things? Maybe 70s. Be interesting, wouldn't it? Crew bass. Oh, bass. Here we go. Called bassline. You've got descriptions as well. Okay, what they are. So slapping and walking. Let's have a listen to that. Oh dear. Really? Let's try dubious. That sounds like. Yeah, I'm cheating. I'm going for the second one I've heard. Okay, play kit. Here we are. So here it is. Yeah, kind of here's. Make it smaller. Oh, there we go. Can move that. Let me move that out of the way. I don't want that. Oh, hello. Are you still there? Yeah, you are. Okay, let's move It's over here. Put this. So you've kind of got little loops on each key. And what it also does, this app, is that you see up here this key. What it's kind of done is it's listened to your audio in the background, what you're working on, and it's kind of roughly put a key. It's giving it a key. Now, for this it's my kind of music, or this particular kind of track, it's pretty ambiguous, so that's pretty random. But it's a good starting place. It saves you having to try to work something out. It just gives you something and say, work with that. If it's right, it'd be great. There's 1 in 12 chance of being right. And then you've got these macros here that do what they say. Woo! It's a filter, low pass filter thing. High pass filter, sorry. And some kind of nice top end saturation. Okay, right, so I'm going to play the track, let's see what it gives me. Quite generic. Well, what do you know, folks? Found one. That'll do. Now, this is a MIDI instrument, but later on the process, after this session, if I decide to work on this track further, I might bounce that into audio and then just muck around with it. Because I like chopping up audio and moving it around and switching it around and glitching it out and reversing it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, here we go. 1 second. Yeah, so it's working. Okay. So one. That sounds like a bass line to me. It's 8 bars long. Yep. Cool. Now, what I might do with the trumpet here? Okay, let's. I've got 9 minutes left. 9 minutes left. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just do a little thing with the trumpet. I'm going to duplicate the trumpet track, and I'm going to pitch one of these. And I'll use the Codex Pro. Well, maybe up a. That sounds like. Huh? Tricks of the trade, ladies and gentlemen. Do I might let this synth, because all this synth take I've done, oops daisy, I might let it just run, you know, oops daisy, there we go, just let it start it from there, start it at that point there, but from the kind of held spooky chords, cluster chords, run to there, and then when it gets to there, run it right back to the pretty much the first. It doesn't have to be in time, obviously. I mean, not exactly in time, because I didn't really. It's just kind of quite meandering anyway. So let's do that. So here we go. Now this is all done. Now that's all my ideas, I think. What have I got in there? I've got 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let's just with one more. Okay, let's just try something else in there. Let's try another sound. I know, I'm going to go to MIDI pack. Okay, not those sort of MIDI packs that you see on YouTube all the time. They are just absolute travesties. You want a great piano hook? I got you. All that stuff, none of that. This is a more infinitely more creative process, darlings. I'm going to go into. Oh, okay. Here, get not effects, samples, loops. What have we got in here? Guitar loops, okay. Actually, that's not what I wanted to do at all. What I was going to do use a MIDI pack, but I'm just going to throw a guitar sample in. I found that one now. See what happens. Just going to loop the first two, but a little bit. Mash up the sound a bit. Get some of that bottom end out of it. Now I'm just going to double speed a bit. Okay, that's my vibe. Right, literally 4 minutes left. Now, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make a quick arrangement out of this. Now, those of you who don't know Ableton Live, this is the way it works. This is called the session view. If you can think about, you've got your standard linear view, you know, that you'd expect to see in Logic or Pro Tools or Cubase or Reason or Cocos Reaper. Yeah, any of those things. Bitwig, even. Fruit FL Studio, aka Fruit Loops, see it in that as well. Anyway, this is Ableton, this is what it does. So if you think of each of these little rectangles, colour rectangles, which are known as clips in Ableton speak, think of these as each of these as a different musician in the studio. Now, me as the producer, stroke conductor, I will be signalling, cueing each of these instruments, musicians to start playing, and I'll pretend them when to stop as well. And while they're playing, they will be recording, the whole performance will be recorded into this page here. So you're kind of doing a live thing here with these little guys and girls, and whatever they play whatever you tell them to play, when to start, whenever they stop, what key they're in, reverbs and stuff like that, and effects and delays, gets printed into here. And that's how it works. Anyway, here we go. Stop all clips, so I can just start from scratch. And I'm going to close this. Don't need this device. Nope, not that. I'm going to close this here. Why have we got 2 shots there? I'll bring that down there. That's it. Okay, here we go. So let's start with the trumpets. Okay. And a response. Down the global tempo. Oh my goodness, what is that all about? Crazy music coming from Cheshire. Hello, back in the room. Yeah, so that's cool, isn't it? That was alright. So, well, I say it's alright. It's not really the right thing to do now is to judge it, because what I've done there is, instead of actually creating restrictions upon myself in terms of where the music can go, and fulfilling a design in my mind of how I should think music should go, I work with pretty much of what I've got. Now, there was a little bit of the designer coming in, but that's because basically I'm on the internet and I don't a complete plonker. So I did kind of not clean things up, but I just chose sounds that were a little bit more easier to work with for my sensibilities. Now, as you can see, as I said before, there is the arrangement. That is it. That's what I did. So if I press play, that would be exactly the performance that I did before you just heard. Oh dear, what's happened there? I've just closed Ableton by mistake. Have I? Oh, there you are. Hello. Yeah. It's all there. Now I've got a bit of mastering on the chain here. I've got little bits of bobs. I've got this colour thing which I actually love, which is a sort of a wobulator. It gives the kind of music. I'll play it back so you can hear what it does. If you like old school sounds, retro, mashed up Nagra tape players. This is your boy. Add some vinyl to it. Add some mud scratches. The age. Some hiss. No, I like that. And you've got this 2 balls. Etc. etc. You get the idea. Just a smattering of this stuff. Carrots on. Bring the rates right down, so you just get that slight tape wow effect. No flutter. Sounds mash up. Maybe. What do you think of that? 1969 like a film or something like that. As you move back through time, you move back to the future. It still sounds old school because that's how I like it. Just a bit of gentle saturation from the lovely Plugging Alliance people. They've got a fantastic deal all year. You get this amazing array of effects and studio tools for a decent price a month. I think it's about £10 a month. And you get loads of fantastic stuff like this Shadow Hills mastering compressor, which is the absolute boomlick. A little bit of light EQ, takes the mud out about 300, and then a limiter on the end. This is pretty generic. I do tweak it a little bit, but I shouldn't really. But I can't bear it to sound too rubbish. And here we go. So it's all done. Basically, that's it. So what you just heard, that is the basic idea. Now I export it and I keep it in my little folder, and then after 7 days I go back to it. I don't listen to it for 7 days. The key to this process is creating some distance between yourself and the thing you've just done, and not judge yourself in the moment of actually creating it. The idea in the moment is to create. It's 100% focus, ideally on quantity and speed, and 0% focus on quality. Because as we all know, anyone who's done work in the studio, who's written stuff in the studio, composed stuff, produced stuff, we've all been there. We've all been in one day thinking this is the greatest thing. Oh, but it's a banging tune. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's fantastic. It's going to take over the world. You come back next day and you go, oh, what was that? Oh, a load of rubbish. It's happened, isn't it? So this is a way of removing that, helping to remove that dilemma. Because ultimately our taste dials are pretty unreliable at the best of times, it seems. Like our idea of what's good and what isn't good, particularly when it comes to our own music, changes. It's in a constant state of flux depending on all sorts of factors. Anyway, I'm prattling on. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you again here very soon. All the best, and peace out.